Hello everyone, Mr. Meister here, and this is a bit of a different type of video. This is a compilation video of my Pokemon Reborn playthrough using only fairy type Pokemon. This is the first 8 episodes, which takes place from the beginning up until the 7th gym badge. I've basically made this compilation just because I'm changing how I record these videos for future episodes, whereas these episodes you'll see I've done post commentary where I play the game and then add commentary afterwards. The issue is it takes a bit too long to do. So now I'm transitioning into a live commentary format where I play the game and talk as I play. Hopefully that's a better change because I think it's a easier way to record and it lets me upload more videos at once because I've now reached the point where I'm doing a little bit over a week to get one episode out, and I think it's not really the best because I was hoping to have finished the game by now, either finish the game or at least be closer to finishing. Well, we haven't reached the halfway point yet, so I'm hoping that this way I can actually play the game and not just be editing videos all the time. So yeah, hope you enjoy. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you around. Pokemon Reborn was one of the first ever fan games I played as a kid, and I think it's one of my favorites to date. That's why I feel for the first playthrough on this channel, we'll be going through Pokemon Reborn. But we'll also be doing a fairy type only challenge, where only Pokemon that are obviously fairy type, or evolve into fairy type Pokemon, can be used. This game features Pokemon up to Generation 7, Mega Evolution, 16 gym badges, as well as a new feature called Field Effects, where the terrain itself gives both you and your opponent advantages depending on your Pokemon type and abilities. With all that said and done, I think it's about time we start our journey. Our story starts on the train to Reborn City. Here we meet Ame, the manager of the Reborn League. She mentions how the region was almost brought to ruin a few years ago, and before she can go into any more details, she decides that instead it is better to register us for the Reborn League, as that's what we're going to the city to do. While doing this, she also asks if we know any passwords. These are special codes in the game that will let us customize how we experience things in the game, such as implementing a hard level cap to prevent our Pokemon from over-leveling, or to give us access to some early in-game items like the EXP share. I will have a list of passwords that I use in the description. Before we have the opportunity to continue our conversation, disaster strikes as the train is attacked. As we wake up to gather our surroundings, Ame is trying to figure out who is responsible for this attack. Here we meet suspect number 1, Julia, who happens to be the gym leader of the Peridot ward. He has a clear alibi, however, thanks to her being in the gym at the time of the attack. With no progress to be made, Ame heads up ahead to the Grand Hall in order to prepare our starter Pokemon. She tells us to follow along when we are ready. Julia also takes the time to mention that not only is she the first gym leader we'll be facing, she is also the electric type gym leader, the first of the 18 Pokemon types we will have to overcome in this playthrough. On our way to the Grand Hall, we meet Victoria, another aspiring trainer who is receiving their starter Pokemon today with us. Together, we catch up with Ame. She mentions how she has restricted travel to other locations in order to restrict the movements of the suspect for the attack. She also has many police officers and trainers assisting her in the search. She brings up that we new trainers have no reason to worry about any of this and should just focus on our own journey. With all that said, it is now time for us to actually begin our journey by picking our starter Pokemon. Another amazing feature about Pokemon Reborn is that there are custom shiny Pokemon designs for every single Pokemon in the game, and I think that A good way to celebrate this playthrough is for every single Pokemon we catch to be shiny, including our starter. Now introducing our first team member, Dio, the shiny Popplio, who happens to also have Liquid Voice for an ability. Moving on, while Victoria goes to pick up her starter Pokemon, we meet Kane, another trainer looking to join the Reborn League. Now that we have a starter Pokemon, he challenges us to a battle, us versus his Nidoran. The battle itself is pretty simple, we're just hitting each other with the same attack over and over again. But luckily we were able to barely win with 1 HP remaining. We're given the opportunity to heal, and now we're facing off against Victoria on a recently acquired Litten. We make quick work of them, after all we have the type advantage. Afterwards, we're now given free range in order to explore the city, take on side quests, gather items, battle trainers, and even get beat up by an old man and his bug type Pokemon. Wait, sorry, I mean beat up an old man and get access to his garden, letting us get access to our next team member. Thanks to the password we used, we're able to use the move Headbutt outside of battle and capture the Swablu, who we call Kyrie. We begin another side quest, this one involving us encountering a suspicious group of people who are talking about liberating a Pokemon and escaping. I think this sounds similar to what Team Plasma did in the Unova region. It's good for us to investigate further. In our search for them, we end up discovering that they are targeting this woman and her Igglybuff. They say, this is an attack, so brace for impact, to eliminate this infestation, to restore the art of God's own nation, to break apart the world above, to find what lies beneath the truth and love. Team Meteor, resonating with eternal light. Run away now, don't try to fight. For justice, that's right. They challenge us to a battle, and we're able to defeat them swiftly. They make their escape just as quick, and as a reward, we're able to obtain the Igglybuff they were targeting. We called the Igglybuff Rhyme, and immediately evolved them into Jigglypuff. Now we have all currently available Pokemon to us before the first gym battle, although 2 of them aren't actually fairy type Pokemon yet. To continue the story, we meet Fern, who is in the middle of capturing a member of Team Meteor, before we, rudely, interrupted. To vent his frustrations about letting a key suspect in the train attack get away, he challenges us to a Pokemon battle. His Badoo makes quick work of both Rhyme and Kyrie, and we're left with only 1 Pokemon left against a trainer who specializes in grass type Pokemon. Luckily, Dio knows Icy Wind, which allowed us to take down both his Badoo and his Rowlet. Another great feature about this game is that Pokemon can evolve mid-battle. This allows Dio to evolve into a Brionne, just as Fern sent in his last Pokemon. And with 1 more potion, we're able to take down his Sandile and win the fight. We then meet one of the police officers Ame mentioned who are looking for the people responsible for the train attack. He says that while we battled Fern, they captured the runaway Grunt and will interrogate him soon for answers. Unsatisfied with this conclusion, Fern decides to continue his search, and we now have to help because it's our fault that the Grunt got away from him in the first place. We head to the factory we believe Team Meteor is hiding in, and there our suspicions are confirmed as we encounter 2 gym leaders who make an explosive entrance. Well, Julia made an explosive entrance. Fern's sister, Florina, kinda just walked like a robot. The 2 of them are also in search of Team Meteor and want to apprehend them before they make their escape. So together, we decided to join forces, all 4 of us, in order to capture as many as we can, so we can find out just what they are planning. The 4 of us enter the facility and quickly find out that Team Meteor is in the middle of deleting all their data. This way, no one will be able to find out their plans, even if we capture them or secure the facility. To stop them, we split up into 2 groups, me and Fern, and the 2 gym leaders. Preferably, I think it'd be better if I didn't team up with Fern. He's kinda mean. Inside, we find Team Meteor admin Ace, and how they are responsible for destroying all the documents in the facility. To slow us down, Ace has locked multiple doors behind passcodes, and as well as deployed many Team Meteor grunts to stop us. We now have to battle through them and search the entire facility in order to get to Ace and stop their data wipe. While scrambling through the facility, we discover some of Team Meteor's plans, such as P03 Endless Regeneration, or P04 Systematic Contamination. Unfortunately, despite being able to discover the names of some of these plans, we're not able to discover what they entail and what Team Meteor is planning for the region. As we progress further, we reunite with the gym leaders, where Julia has quite clearly destroyed every single door in front of them. However, unfortunately, she has run out of dynamite before the final door, where Ace is hiding behind. She asks if we can go look for the dynamite that Team Meteor had used when they attacked the train. Meanwhile, Florina is trying to hack the computer terminal to get the door open and for us to confront Team Meteor before it's too late. Just before Julia is able to demonstrate her expertise in explosives, Florina is able to get the door open, allowing us to proceed and confront Team Meteor once and for all. Inside, we meet a mysterious man who seems to be in charge of the entire operation here. He claims Team Meteor has been around through the entire history of the region. They have been there from the start, keepers of history. We ignore these claims as we are here to capture them, nothing else. While this mysterious man and Ace battle the gym leaders, me and Fern are left to team up and battle against Asta and Eclipse, the two people assisting in wiping all the data. It seems like we were underestimated, as Asta and Eclipse only have 2 Rockruffs to their name. Meanwhile, we have a team of 3 almost fairy types, and Fern has 2 grass types on his team. This is an easy battle, but it seems the battle still served its purpose. We were delayed long enough for them to wipe all the data, and thanks to Ace, they were able to make a quick escape. Although we weren't able to stop them, we were able to find out more about just what is threatening this region. With Team Meteor, we know that they've been here for a long time, and they've been keeping track of everything. Just what are their plans? We don't know. Especially because Julia decided to blow up the facility. Thank you, Julia. With this, we all decide to go our separate ways. Florinia decides to go to the Obsidia ward as there seems to be trouble brewing. Fawn decides to go away, and Julia invites us to challenge her in the gym as she believes we are ready for our first gym battle. Before we challenge Julia, we decide to do some extra side quests. The first one involved helping Corey, a man who was treating the injured people from the train. He had some of his medicine stolen, and we had to go recover what was taken. We found the man in the alleyway and quickly defeated him to retrieve the medicine. Afterwards, we returned to Corey. He thanked us and gave us some XP candies to help level up our Pokemon. The next side quest allowed us to meet Shelly, a bug-type gym leader who is helping treat a sick Cricketart. Now it's time for us to actually challenge Julia to a gym battle. Her gym puzzle reflects her personality pretty well, or at least what we know, seeing how we have to lead Voltorbs to a door in order to blow it up and get access to her arena. We are in for a tough battle. Although our Pokemon are at the level cap of 20, Julia is still a gym leader with 6 strong electric types in our team. Not to mention, 2 out of 3 of our Pokemon are weak to electric types. This will be a hard fight, but I think we can win. Unfortunately, we do lose this fight. Rhyme did some damage to Minum, however, they went down after a couple more hits, but this allowed Dio to come in and get a revenge KO. Next, Julia sent in Voltorb. Although we were able to take him down, we still took too much damage, especially because of Voltorb's ability, Aftermath. Afterwards, Julia sent in Electrode, which took down both Dio and Kyrie before they could even do anything. We proceed to lose even more, over and over again, for one reason after the next, be it from explosion or just not playing well. I come to realize that it's time to go back to the drawing board and plan out exactly how to win. It's time for a rematch. This time, we're well prepared to win. We open the fight with Kyrie, who fires off a normal gem boosted round. Julia then paralyzes us with Nuzzle, before hitting us with Charge Beam to turn after. However, Kyrie has done enough damage to take him down once and for all. We switch into Dio for Voltorb. This way, we can fire off 2 Aqua Jets to take him down as well. We suffer the damage from the Aftermath, but it's not too much that we can't heal from. Now for Electrode. This guy is giving us trouble quite a lot, but by using Misty Terrain, we're able to change the field effect. Now, Julia's Pokemon no longer gets a boost in their electric type attacks, and instead, fairy type Pokemon get an increase to the special defense, allowing us to take down Electrode with Rollout. Next up is Geodude. Kyrie is done for this match. We're using our turn in order to heal for Potion. With Dio at full health, it's now up to him to take down Julia's remaining 3 Pokemon. With the level gap being so high, that's easily done. With 1 Aqua Jet, Geodude is down. Oricoil's up next. We fire off an Icy Wind to deal super effective damage, before finishing her off with an Aqua Jet. Now it's just a 1v1, 1 Plusle against the world. They go swiftly down with 2 Aqua Jets, and now we've won the badge, 17 more to go. By defeating Julia, we now have our level cap increase from 20 to 25. This also allows us to get the TM for Charge Beam. The only Pokemon we have that can learn it right now is Rhyme, but I don't know if I'll teach it yet. Heading outside the gym, we run into Victoria, who congratulates us on winning a new badge. She mentions how there's trouble brewing an Obsidian Ward, just like Florina mentioned before. Now it's time for us to head there and investigate ourselves. Perhaps we'll find more clues about what Team Meteor is planning, or perhaps we'll find something else. Now, to continue the story, we must head to the Obsidian Ward, which is currently under lockdown due to some plant-like phenomena occurring. Here we meet Florina, who uses her gym leader authority to give us access. And instead of us going immediately to the park to stop this crisis, we are actually going to start setting up the groundwork for our next team member. In order to acquire our next team member, we just have to solve a puzzle, but the issue is, in order for us to shiny hunt this Pokemon, we have to solve this puzzle every single time. This is not a good method to acquire this Pokemon, when instead, we can use the daycare in order to breed a shiny egg, and that's how we'll get our next team member. As it turns out, the daycare is not available at the moment, as Team Meteor has taken over in order to steal Pokemon that trainers leave in their care. We chase them out and discover that even if we find out where they are, we won't be able to get to them without a key, so the daycare is unavailable until after we resolve the crisis in Obsidian Ward. To continue with our adventure, we will meet up with Florinia and Victoria at Obsidian Park, where our path is blocked by plants sprouting from the ground. Florinia informs us that similar incidents are happening in Jasper and Bald wards as well. In order to get past this, we have to meet up with Florinia's friend Amaria, who has the TM for Cuts. She's located south in the Core Ward, so together with Victoria, we head there now. On our way, we are challenged by Victoria to a Pokemon battle. Unlike our first battle, she now has 4 Pokemon instead of just 1. We lead with Kyrie while she sends in Rolls. Our first Astonish causes a flinch, and so does our next one. This lets us take down Rolls without taking any damage. Next up is Pichu, who causes us to flinch this time with Fake Out. We then use Round while Pichu uses Nasty Plot. After a couple more rounds, we're then able to beat the speed tie and take him down. Next up is our evolved starter, Torokar, so we send in Dio. We use Disarming Voice to take down her health before finishing her off with Aqua Jet, and now it's our final Pokemon, Pancham. who goes down in 2 disarming voices, winning us the battle. While travelling through the slums, we pick up a moonstone and also run into Corey, who was treating people in the slums, just like how he was treating people from the train crash before. Through this encounter, we found out a bit more about him. For example, he was a former gym leader. Before we can exit the slums, we are stopped by a group of Scrafty and Scraggy. They challenge us to a fight. Thanks to the disarming voice, we're able to make quick work with them and move on to the Coral Ward. Not only do we find Amaria, Kane also finds us and helps rescue Apophyll, who is surrounded by polluted water. Feeling grateful, the Apophyll joins his team, and together they challenge us to a battle. We lead with Dio against his Grimer, and fire off our Icy Wind, boosted by the misty terrain, the current field effect in play. One more Icy Wind takes down Grimer, and now Kane is sending in his Apophyll. We send in Kyrie, but I forget that Apophyll has Icy Wind. This means that Kyrie ends up going down after a few more hits. We have 2 Pokemon left and Kane still has 3. We send in Rhyme next in order to take down Apophyll with Round. We send Dio back in against Kane's Cubone, and one-shot it with Bubble Beam. The battle is just about finished now there's a 2v1. We fire off 2 Icy Winds and take down Nidorino, winning us the battle. After the battle, Kane leaves, and Amaria gives us the TM for cut. She also warns us about a Team Meteor agent called Borealis. She currently has a suspicion that he is nearby, so we should be on the lookout for him. Now that we have cut, we're now able to enter Obsidia Park. Here, the 2 gym leaders decide to lead the charge and order myself and Victoria to circle around and take down any other remaining Team Meteor grunts. Navigating this area requires us to battle Team Meteor and use Cut to take down these trees and clear the vines blocking the way. While doing this, we witness Borealis defeat Victoria and kidnap her. To add insult to injury, when we arrive at the end of the park, we see that both Florania and Amaria have been captured by Zell, another high-ranking member of Team Meteor, who is 3 different people merged into one body. Their names are Zero, Eve, and Lumi. It is revealed that this machine and Tangrowth are responsible for the mass overgrowth occurring in Obsidia Park, and in order to free the gym leaders, we have to defeat them to stop the machine. It is a tough fight against this supercharged Tangrowth. However, our Pokemon can supercharge as well, thanks to Rhyme evolving with a Moonstone. The field effect gives Tangrowth's Mega Drains a big boost in damage, which in turn helps with its recovery. So we start with Charm first to weaken its physical attacks. We then change the field effect to Misty Terrain to boost Rhyme's special defense. After healing with a Super Potion, we now fire off rounds in order to lower Tango's health. We continue this while using Misty Terrain when it runs out, until Tango's HP is in the red. Rhyme goes down, but she's on more than enough for Dio to come in and use Icy Wind and finish the battle. Zell makes their escape, while Obsidia Park returns to normal. With the gym leaders now free, Amaria sets out to look for Victoria and Borealis. Meanwhile, Florinia invites us to the Onyx Ward in order for us to challenge her to a gym battle. Before we do that, we first rescue the daycare couple in the Coral Ward using the key found in Obsidia Park. Now I can introduce you to Big, the Swirlix, our new team member, before we challenge Florinia, but we are unable to do that as Fawn decides to lock us out of the gym, showing us how much of a great person he is, meaning we now have to go through the entirety of the school in order to reach Florinia. It is not all that bad, as we are able to find a coin case, which lets us use the game corner to get some new TMs, such as Facade. We also get to meet the rock-type gym leader Hardy, who also helps us by opening one of the gates. The last thing we need to do is answer some questions on some terminals to unlock the final gate. Afterwards, we're now back at the beginning, right before the gym leader. Vaughn once again blocks our path. This time, instead of having the students stop us, he'll take matters into his own hands. Vaughn still uses the same 3 Pokemon as last time, just with some new evolutions. We open up the fight with Dio and immediately Bubble Beam his Sandile. It goes down in one hit, and Vaughn immediately sends in Dartrix next. 2 Icy Winds are all Dio needs to take down Dartrix too. We then send in Big to take on Fawn's final Pokemon, Chrysolia. Thanks to being paralyzed with Stun Spore, the damage Facade deals greatly increases, helping us take him down even faster. After this defeat, Fawn decides, out of spite, to also take part in the Pokemon League and collect all 18 gym badges before us. With Fawn gone, no one is stopping us from challenging Florinia, but if you've seen the title of this video, you know we struggled greatly in this fight. Florinia likes stalling you out. She uses moves such as Leech Seed, Mega Drain and Sandstorm to chip away at your HP while you struggle to deal with a bulky Pokemon. The easiest way to stop them is to defeat them fast enough before they can set up. But that's not an option for us, as the only Pokemon with super effective moves is Dio, who is weak to grass type Pokemon. While thinking I ran out of options on what to do, and considering catching duplicate Pokemon instead to beef up my numbers to 6 Pokemon, I realized I can use Pokemon Reborn's item, Common Candies, to lower Kyrie's level. This will let us relearn Kyrie's level of moves, so she can learn Sing and Natural Gift, a move that changes type depending on what berry is held. Now it is time to finally get that second gym badge. We open up the battle with Kyrie and use Sing to put Maractus to sleep. This lets us send in Dio without being hit by any grass type moves. We get good luck with Sleep and are able to use Icy Wind to take down Maractus without taking any damage. Next up is Ferroseed, so we send Kyrie back in. Ferroseed's stats gets boosted and we can no longer one-shot it with Fire type Natural Gift. To avoid Florinia using a potion, we put it to sleep first and deal some chip damage before using Natural Gift to finish it off. Now it is a 4v4 and Cradily is up next to be put to sleep. We missed the first one, but the second one we managed to get them. Now Big can come in and lower Crady's special defense with Fake Tears. We use it twice because Cradily knows Stockpile, so even if the special defense goes up, we'll still be able to deal some extra damage with the lowered stats. Now Dio can be sent out and use Icy Wind to take down Cradily, while it sets up a Sandstorm. Next is Cacnea, so we send in Rhyme. We try using Rollout, but we miss, allowing Cacnea to hit us with a boosted Needle Arm. We decide to play it safe this time and use Round instead. We also take another hit from Needle Arm and barely survive for the Sandstorm damage. After missing Round again, Rhyme goes down, so we send back in Dio. After my Pokemon missed the third time, I realized Cacnea must have had Sand Veil for an ability. Hoping for the best, we have Big use Facade, and he manages to land the attack. We send Kyrie out against Cottony, hoping to land a Sing, and she once again proves that she is the MVP of this battle. Now we can send in Big and set up Belly Drum. We fire off a Facade, hoping to get the KO, but we miss by 1 HP. Next turn, Connie also wakes up, but she misses, and now we're down to Florina's final Pokemon, who takes out Facade and puts us to sleep. We immediately use an Awakening, and finally win the battle. With this, we now have our second gym badge, and get the TM for Nature Power. Amaria returns, and also tells us our next destination, Burl Ward, where Borealis has been spotted. Hopefully, when we go there, we can rescue Victoria. It will not be easy, as this plant-like phenomena that occurred in Obsidia Ward is also happening in Burl and Jasper Wards. So we're most likely going to be facing off against Team Meteor when we get there. But before we can continue our adventure to the Jasper Ward, we first have to pick up some new Pokemon. In Peridot Ward, we can get a Snubbull with Close Combat as an egg move. Speaking of egg moves, I decided to use the Daycare to get some more egg moves on this Snubbull, which are the Elemental Fangs, Fire, Thunder and Ice Fang. Next, back in Obsidia Ward, we encounter Laura, who is running an experiment and is having problems with the wild Pokemon. After defeating them, Laura then tells us about Comfey in trouble within North Peridot Ward. Here we end up finding out that the Comfey is surrounded by 3 men who turn into Pokemon. Regardless of this, we are still able to defeat the 3 Pokemon and rescue the Comfey. Now with Wanda the Grand Bull and Lido the Comfey, we're ready to face Team Meteor in Jasper Ward. Inside, we meet Corey and his daughter Heather. The relationship doesn't seem to be too good though, since Corey is very overprotective of her. After Heather leaves, Corey gives us a warning about the area, telling us to leave quickly as whatever business we have here is not worth it. We then head inside the blue building to find the police station. Here we learn that the police officers have all gone missing in both Jasper and Ball Ward. We offer our assistance in finding them. Now we have two objectives: stop Team Meteor and rescue the police officers. We catch up with Heather, who is also planning on taking down Team Meteor too. She also complains how her father, Corey, is always being called by different names by all sorts of people. We decide to team up with Heather to stop Team Meteor and continue further down inside the forest. Now we are at the center of all this chaos. We jump down and find Taka, another member of Team Meteor. Not only that, we also find out that Team Meteor has attached a Tangrowth to a pulse machine. Taka confirms that just like in Obsidia Ward, they're using another Tangrowth to cause the same disaster here in Jasper Ward too. Now we need to take him down, but we get surrounded by other Team Meteor grunts. Fortunately, Heather is here to take care of them in a 3v1 battle using her Salamence. No idea who gave the child a dragon, but now it's up to us to take down Taka and Tangrowth. We open up the fight with our new member Lilo against Taka's Execute. After setting up with Growth for 2 turns, we take him down immediately with Draining Kiss. His Chara also goes down with the same move as well. Lastly is the Pulse Tangrowth, a grass ground type. Lilo unfortunately hits himself twice in a row with Confusion, leading to her being taken down without dealing any damage to Tangrowth. Now we send in Wanda, our Grand Bull, who has Ice Fang, and takes down Tangrowth in a few turns. With Taka and Tangrowth being defeated, the forest is returning back to normal. As we leave, Team Meteor takes note that Heather was wearing a ruby ring, before they decide to head over to the Ball Ward. Outside, Heather is disappointed that the building did not collapse, due to all the shaking. Corey shows up again, and is once again concerned about Heather's safety, and takes note that Heather was wearing her mother's ring, the same ring Team Meteor spotted. Speaking of which, Heather, growing tired of her father's overprotectiveness, mentions that we actually fought Team Meteor, and Corey, growing even more worried, asks if they spotted the ring. Heather refuses to answer and takes off. It seems this ring is an important item that Corey does not want Team Meteor to know Heather has. While joining into Ball Ward to stop the final pulse machine, we fall into a trap designed by some Nuzleaf. We wake up deep into the jungle, and unfortunately, Fawn is the one who finds us trapped. He offers to set us free, on the condition that we beg him to do it. However, I am not that desperate yet. Eventually, a charter comes around and sets us free. We then rescue Kane, who was also captured. He's here after finding out that Victoria was also taken by Team Meteor. Together, we try to continue our journey through the jungle, to not only find Team Meteor, but they also stop the Pulse Tangrowth too. Heather also catches up with us, and now the 3 of us are able to open up the way and continue our chase from Team Meteor. While exploring, we end up finding all the missing police officers. Now we unlock a side quest that lets us trade a Growlithe egg for a fairy type Pokemon. This Pokemon turns out to be Sora, a shiny Togepi, one of the first of our next set of encounters. In Ball Ward, we also find a shiny Moro. In addition to this, we capture a Dedenne and breed it to get Helping Hand as an egg move. Lastly, we make a trade with this old man to get a Carbink for a Sunkarn. Now it's time for us to finally take on Team Meteor. We overhear a conversation between a group of members talking about a plan they have in North Obsidia Ward. The man in a brown coat mentions that he's going to head over there while also taking a girl with him. We can assume this girl is Victoria, meaning that we'll have to look for another chance to rescue her. Before the final fight, let's go over the team. Nesta Dedenne has replaced Kyrie the Swablu. Protecting the final Tangrowth is Borealis, Ace, Taka, and Zell. All of them have gathered to prevent us from defeating Tangrowth. But we are not alone. Amaria shows up, and so does Fawn and Kane. All of us are together in order to take down Team Meteor. Then, out of nowhere, Heather flies in for Salamence. To prevent us from having the numbers advantage, they call in a private who was talking to the man in the bank house before. Now, it's time for us to face it off against Ace and the Tangrowth. We open up with Lilo, hoping to sweep through the fight using a boosted growth from the field effect, but our attempt is halted when Zora, disguised as Tangrowth, uses taunts. So in turn, we immediately take him down with a Draining Kiss, and switch out. The next matchup is Wanda against Roselia. We open up with Firefang to take him down immediately. Now Ace sends in their Byxbysion, so we send in Dio to take him down quickly, but I'll put to sleep first. Now we take a few hits before finishing him off with Bubble Beam. Ace's second to last Pokemon is Baltoy, so we send Lilo back in, hoping to set up before Pulse Tangrowth comes out. We're able to get the +6 special attack, and Lilo is able to take him down swiftly and easily. Although we won the battle, Heather is brutally defeated, and Borealis is concerned for her safety. He orders his Crobat to rescue her. This brings into question Borealis' loyalty to Team Meteor, as he purposely made sure his battle allowed him to stay nearby the pulse device and to watch over Heather. They now intend to get rid of him due to this betrayal, so Amelia takes his chance to send us away. While fleeing, Borealis is then stopped by what seems to be a street rat at first. Turns out to be the entire police force that we saved. The police were able to reveal Borealis' true identity, which turns out to be Corey, the former poison-type gym leader, the same person who has been helping the sick in every location Team Meteor has been. Corey then makes his escape north towards his house, his former gym. We confront Corey, and he says that he's done everything for the sake of protecting Heather. In order for us to find out more, we need to defeat him in a Pokemon battle, not as Corey, but as Borealis of Team Meteor. We open up with Ness against his spell, and use Nuzzle to paralyze him. The field effect allows certain moves to become poison type, which causes Bubble to deal super effective damage. Not only that, the field effect also poisons all non-poison type Pokemon. We then use Volt Switch to take down Squelp and switch into Rhyme. We are immediately poisoned, but we are also able to set up Misty Terrain, allowing us to change the field effect and gain the advantage. As a reminder, in Pokemon Reborn, Misty Terrain boosts the special defense of Fairy-type Pokemon, so Wanda can come into Venoshock and fire off a Thunder Fang in retaliation. Borealis sends in Nidorina next, so we send in Dio to take him down with Bubble Beam. The field effect returns to normal, so against Krogong, we use Misty Terrain once again to change it, and then we use the Round to take down Krogong. Crobat is his second last Pokemon, so we send in Dio to fire off an Icy Wind, boosted by Misty Terrain. Although Crobat set up with Nasty Claw, Venoshock is not enough to take down Dio, who is not yet a Fairy type. But that changes after Crobat goes down and Dio evolves into Primarina mid-battle. Now we have a full team of 6 Fairy type Pokemon, and will continue to do so for the rest of this run. We immediately take down Contact and win the battle. With Borealis being defeated, Corey mentions how Team Meteor will likely use Heather to control him. Unfortunately, Heather is also around to hear him say this. It would appear that the police officers have told Heather about Corey's true identity as Borealis of Team Meteor. Heather is rightfully angry. After all, this means that Corey's overprotective behavior stems from trying to keep her away from Team Meteor. She then decides that she's going to run away. After all, she is sick of being protected and not having anything explained to her. So she takes the ruby ring and leaves. Seemingly defeated, Corey decides to invite us to Burl Bridge for one final show. At the bridge, Corey releases all his Pokemon. Corey begins to tell us about how he joined Team Meteor, about what caused everything was a ruby ring. It was the ring he gave to his wife, who died with giving birth to Heather due to a complication in the hospital. But Corey found out it was actually a devious act by Team Meteor who was seeking out the ring. The tragedy did not end there, for Team Meteor has taken Heather hostage. Therefore, The only thing Corey could do was to join Team Meteor to protect both Heather and the ring. Corey confirms that now that Heather has the ring, she'll be hunted down by Team Meteor, but he also mentions how there is information hidden inside the ring regarding Team Meteor's plans, and with that, the life of Corey ends, unfortunately. And Fern immediately makes fun of him, because that is the one thing Fern should do, isn't it? Favorite character ever, guys. Fern at least does tell us where we might be able to find Corey, which is in Lapis Ward. However, it would seem like North Obsidia Ward is experiencing trouble, likely due to the actions of Team Meteor. At North Obsidia Ward, it would seem the police have set up a blockade, preventing us from investigating further. So we move on to Lapis Ward, not only to get one more fairy type Pokemon, but also to check up on Corey. Corey's fate is exactly what we suspected, and unfortunately we're not the only ones who've discovered this. Shelly, Heather's friend, also sees this too, and so does Cal, a red-headed person who is trying to shield up from the site. Asta and Eclipse are also here to confirm Corey's status on behalf of Team Meteor. They also confirm that Team Meteor were the ones behind the incident at the stairway. And while they're discussing this, Shade, the ghost type team leader, comes in to clean up the scene of the crime. After everyone leaves, Kane comes in and asks us if we know what's going on. He also says that he should be able to help us get into the stairway to find out what Team Meteor is doing. Thanks to Kane, we're able to make our way down to the bottom, and we meet the Team Meteor member in the brown coat once again. He explains how this room contains a door to the core of the Reborn region, blocked up by a seal of ruby, sapphire, emerald, and amethyst. He doesn't say it, but it appears that the ruby ring is one of the keys required to open it. After this, the man leaves, allowing us to rescue Victoria, who is being guarded by Asta and Eclipse. At this point, we far outmatch them, even with Victoria helping us. We quickly use Volt Switch to bring in Wanda, who makes quick work of both Solrock, Lunatone, and the two Lycanrocs. With the pair defeated, they make their escape, and we leave with Victoria afterwards. With everything that happens, Victoria challenges us to a battle, wanting to prove herself after everything that has happened. We open up the fight with Ness and use Volt Switch to immediately bring in Dio to take advantage of the rain. Dio then takes down both Pancham and Toraka with Sparkling Aria, followed by Pikachu and Chrysolia, winning us the battle. Fern then shows up afterwards, talking about how he acquired his third gym badge by taking advantage of Shelly when she was not in the right state of mind due to seeing Corey's demise. He then challenges us to a battle to prove that he is once again better than us. We aren't able to change who's up front, so Ness opens up the battle for us, but we switch him out to send in Wanda instead, and after a few ice bangs, Rhyhorn goes down. Now Fern sends in his ace Roserade, so he sends in Dio to counter with Icy Wind. Unfortunately, Dio is not able to take Roserade down. In order to make sure Roserade has a low enough speed, we then use Nuzzle with Ness and Volt Switch to bring back in Wanda, who could fire off an Ice Fang and take down Roserade. With Roserade down, the rest of Fern's Pokemon are easy to deal with. We send in Lilo and set up with Growth, then use Draining Kiss on Krokorok and Dartrix. With Fern defeated, we're now concerned about Shelly's mental health, so we immediately leave for Lapis Ward. Before we can enter, Cal comes out and is extremely angry. We're immediately thrusted into a battle. We open up with Dio and take down Torkoal with Sparkling Aria. Magmortar ends up surviving the Sparkling Aria, so we try to take it down with Aqua Jet afterwards, but we fail and end up getting KO'd. Ness comes in next, and uses Volt Switch to take down Magmortar, and Houndoom goes down in one hit to a rainbow boosted round from Rhyme. Ness then takes down his Quilava, and Wanda takes down Chameleon, winning us the battle. We then find out that Cal is angry because of Fern's behaviour during the gym battle with Shelly, but thanks to Victoria explaining that we defeated Fern, Cal calms down and allows us to speak with Shelly. Inside, we see Kane and Victoria trying to comfort Shelly, hoping for her to feel better. Kane reveals that part of the reason why he's here is because he's looking for clues for where Heather is at the moment. Shelly then realizes that the man she saw die was actually Heather's father, and then has a panic attack. We leave Shelly alone for now with Victoria. Carl then suggests that we should go down to the orphanage and look for a doctor. Inside, we are immediately met with Anna, who also introduces us to Noelle and Charlotte, who are both two gym leaders of the Reborn League. We also find out that Charlotte is the sister to Laura, one of the members of the Elite Four that we helped out in a side quest. We didn't explain that we are here in search of the doctor, and before we're able to hear about why we shouldn't look for him, he shows up, and Anna makes up the excuse that we're here to challenge their children to a gym battle. The doctor then has one of his orderlies test us in a battle, one that we immediately win, and are then told that the arena is not ready for a gym battle. Anna then tries her best to get us to leave as soon as possible, but the doctor realizes what she is doing, and then asks us to speak up about what we came here for. We then explain that we need a doctor for Shelly to make sure she's okay, and after booking an appointment, we are then asked to leave. Anna does still give us some useful advice to give to Shelly. This advice was enough to help Shelly get back up to her feet. She realizes that Heather needs her a lot more, considering everything that has happened. She then invites us to challenge her at the gym, and we are more than happy to take her up on the offer. After the puzzle, we then find out that Shelly is actually Bugsy's younger sister, and also uses Bug-type Pokemon. And we begin our first gym battle using the doubles format. We open up the fight with Lilo and Ness. Not only does Fairy type resist Bug-type Pokemon, the field effect also allows Lilo to get a +2 boost to special attack with each growth. Therefore our plan is very simple. We're going to set up with Lilo and use Ness to paralyze any Pokemon that comes out. This will allow us to sweep through the entire team without struggling like we did in the other gym battles before. And after getting to +6, Lilo and Ness are able to take down most of our Pokemon with Draining Kiss and Power Ball of Charge, allowing us to win the battle, winning us our third gym badge. We then meet Cal and Victoria, meditating, trying to control Cal's anger issues. Shortly after, Dr. Sigmund appears too. He begins his consultation on Shelly, where we find out that Shelly and Cal actually joined the Reborn League at the same time. It is where they met and became friends. The Doctor then focuses attention to Cal instead of Shelly, highlighting how Cal retired as a Fire-type gym leader due to losing to his brother, an Ice-type trainer. This sets off Cal, causing him to become angry and scaring Shelly, forcing us to leave the room along with Victoria. Outside, Cal regrets his behaviour and is disappointed in himself. Victoria takes this opportunity to invite Cal to the academy she attended to help him further control his anger, so something like this doesn't happen again. Kane was also there to witness this. After confirming that everything is okay, he challenges us to a battle. Now we're continuing this episode right where we left off, with a battle with Kane. Kane sends in Rion and we send in Dio to take advantage of the rain, and hit with Sparkling Aria. One more and Brian would go down, but we get put to sleep with Sing. We switch in Ness and get hit with a critical Bubble Beam. With one Pokemon down already, Wanda comes in and uses Thunder Fang. Kane sends in Nidoking and almost takes us down with Poison Tail, but we get a freeze with Ice Fang. This allows Wanda to take down Nidoking. Next up is a Alolan Marowak, so we send in Rhyme to use Rollout. We take him down after a couple turns. Kane's last Pokemon is a Alolan Grimer. We send back in Wanda to get off Intimidate and also try Power Light with Thunder Fang. After failing to paralyze him, we send in Sora to exchange hits with Ancient Power and Poison Fang, ending the battle. Afterwards, Heather shows up to respond to the call Shelly made. Kane tries to make sure Heather is okay, considering that she has lost her father, but she seems to not care, unlike Dr. Sigmund, who hears she is now an orphan. He offers to take Heather into the orphanage, but she refuses immediately. Despite this, he then changes tactics to use force, and we are unable to stop him. as he has the Reborn League's legal system at his side. Although we are powerless to stop him from taking Heather, we refuse to give up and team up with Shelly to go into the orphanage and get Heather back, even if it means getting arrested. As we enter the orphanage, we catch a glimpse at what the Doctor uses his electric type Pokemon for. It becomes even more apparent that we have to get Heather out of here. Inside, we reunite with Anna, Noelle and Charlotte, and we decide to work together to not only break out Heather, but also take them with us as we escape. Now we'll work together to take back their confiscated Pokemon and rescue Heather. The plan immediately goes astray, as Charlotte's distraction does not prevent the orderlies from detecting us. To prevent us from being surrounded, Kane blocks one of the entryways. However, some of the orderlies take Noelle, so me and Shelly rush to rescue him. As we make our way through the orphanage, we discover that the Doctor locks his patients in cages for the sake of treatment. We set them all free, including Noelle, and make our way to helping out Kane and Charlotte. This way, we can get the children's Pokemon back, and then finally break out Heather. In the confrontation with the Doctor at the top floor, it becomes apparent that we have the advantage. With 3 gym leaders, Dr. Sigmund's chances of stopping us are non-existent. Charlotte even goes as far as to leave a burn mark on the Doctor. He finally decides that enough is enough and gives up on keeping Heather. We all decide to leave before the authorities show up. Back at the entrance, we decided the best place to go in order to escape from the authorities would be the underground rail net. Before me and Anna can leave, an Electivire shows up, clearly belonging to Dr. Sigmund. It would appear he never planned on letting us go without a fight. The battle immediately kicks off with Electivire versus Dio. This is a bad type matchup, so we immediately switch in Wanda. Although we do get paralyzed, 2 close combats are enough to take down Electivire. His second Pokemon is Hypno, so we send in Sora. As Hypno sets up Psychic Terrain, we try to put him to sleep with Yawn. Not only is it blocked by Insomnia, we then get put to sleep next turn with Hypnosis, and we are helpless against Hypno's boosted psychic attacks. Rhyme is sent out next, but is also put to sleep immediately, so we switch out and bring in Dio. Hypno doesn't use Hypnosis again, so we are able to take him down with 2 Hyper Voices. Pokemon number 3 is Mishana, so we send in Ness to paralyze him. The next turn, after using Parabolic Charge, Mishana sets up a Psychic Terrain once again. We use Volt Switch to immediately bring in Rhyme. We try to use Rollout and thankfully wake up in the first turn. Now we're able to take down Mishana after a few more turns of Rollout. We stay in against the Lowland Raichu, hoping to take him down with another Rollout, but we pay for a greed and Rhyme goes down. Lilo is sent out next and misses Sweet Kiss. We do succeed the second time around, but Raichus do not hit themselves in confusion. With Lilo down, we then send in Wanda, hoping to maybe get a burn Fire Fang, but we missed that as well. Our best option now is to use an item to heal Dio and send them in, hoping they can take down Raichu. We almost get the kill with Hyper Voice, and it seems like Raichu doesn't have an electric type move as they use Psychic. Now 1 Aqua Jet is all we need to take down Raichu and face off against his final Pokemon, Rotom. Dio takes a powerful Volt Switch to the face, but hits back stronger with a Hyper Voice, winning us the battle. With Sigmund defeated, me and Anna are able to leave and reunite with everyone else. But it becomes apparent this is not the last we'll see of the Doctor, as a member of Team Meteor shows up and gives them an offer of mutual benefits. At the Veilnet, it turns out our path is blocked by a gate and there's no power to operate their system. It then suggested that we should head to the power plant, where Shade is, another Reborn gym leader. There we should be able to get power and Charlie can access the terminal. Before we do that, we can catch another team member and evolve some other Pokemon. Located in the same room as the Veilnet, we're able to encounter a shiny Mawile. They won't go in the team right now, but when we unlock Mega Evolution, they'll definitely become a very important member, considering Mega Mawile is one of my favourite Pokemon. Next, it's time to evolve some of our Pokemon. Using the Link Stone, we can evolve Big and Yuzma, and then we can use EXP candies to level up Root and Kyrie. so they can evolve too. Carry still can't be used until we get a Mega Evolution, but it's good to evolve them now, just so you know what has happened. There's one more evolution to get, and that requires us to head back down to the Grand Stairway and get the mining kit. This is an item that will let us get evolution stones from mining rocks. With this, we're now able to get all sorts of evolutionary stones, like an ice stone, shiny stone, and a moonstone. So even future team members will be able to evolve whenever we want them to. Before we evolved Sora, I used common candies to lower his level all the way down back to 1. This way, when we evolve to Togekiss, we're able to learn both Air Slash and Aura Sphere. Now we're ready to enter the power plant and take on our 4th gym battle against Shade. We open up the fight with Ness against Shade's Gengar. We immediately use Nuzzle to paralyze him. Although Ness does take a field effect boosted Shadow Ball. Not only do we heal with Parabolic Charge, we also change the field effect. This means we take less damage from any future ghost type attacks. Ness finishes off Gengar and we send in Sora against Delmize. And we get the flinch with Air Slash, letting us get the KO without taking any damage. Shade's third Pokemon is Doublade, so we send in Wonder to get the Intimidate off, and him with Fire Fang. We're not able to get the burn, and Wonder goes down to a critical hit. Dio then comes in to finish him off with Hyper Voice. Shade's next Pokemon is Mimikyu, so we send in Ness to try break the disguise with Nuzzle. Unfortunately, Mimikyu outspeeds us and takes us out with Shadow Claw. But Root is able to come in and put them to sleep and confuse them as well. He does go down without doing any damage, but we are able to paralyze Mimikyu afterwards with Effect Spore. We then bring in Lilo and break the disguise with Draining Kiss. Another Draining Kiss reveals we're not going to out-heal Mimikyu's damage, so we opt to use Leech Seed instead to hopefully get some extra chip damage in. As expected, we're not able to heal enough to survive a Shadow Claw from Mimikyu, meaning we're now down to 2 Pokemon left. Sora's up next, and although we don't get the kill of Air Slash, Mimikyu is paralyzed and takes damage from Leech Seed. Now it's a 2v2, and we send in Dio against Rotom. Just like with Dr. Sigmund, we're able to take him down in one Hyper Voice, although we do take damage from Discharge as well. We stay in against Shade's final Pokemon, Banette, and we use Baby Doll Eyes to immediately lower its attack, setting up a 1v1 against Banette and Sora. First idea that came to mind was to get unlucky with flinches from Air Slash, but with the amount of damage we're dealing, putting him to sleep with Yawn would be better, and then we carry on with Air Slash too. Just when we're about to get the KO, Shade uses the Hyper Potion and Cast Body triggers, disabling Air Slash, and now Sora has no way of attacking. In response to this, we then use a Revive to bring back Wonder and heal with a Super Potion as well. Now that she's healed up, we bring Wonder in, hoping that she's able to finish the fight. Things are looking good, with both Thunder Fang and Fire Fang dealing decent damage, but one hit away from finishing it. Unfortunately, Wonder is not able to deal the final hit, and goes down, leading us back to a 1v1 once again. Just like before, we use the exact same tactic of Air Slash and Yawn, and before we can finish the fight, we didn't get affected by Cast Body once more. Using some healing items and Yawn, we're able to survive enough turns in order to be relieved of the effects, and finally finish the fight with one more Air Slash. With this, we now have 4 gym badges, and the power's been turned back on. Shade then decides to show us what's going on back with our friends in the RailNet. Here, we witness Team Meteor meeting our friends and capturing them one by one. Anna then throws an item to Kane, telling him to get out of here. Meanwhile, everyone's being taken one by one. Kane makes his escape, but not before blocking the entrance with his Nidoking. And now, in order to save our friends from Team Meteor, we look to meet up with Kane. Inside the police station, we meet Kane, Amaria, and Ace. And we find out that Ace has been kicked out of Team Meteor because they interfered with the extreme methods Lynn was using to retrieve Amaria's sapphire bracelets. With their help, were able to decrypt the information Corey acquired when working for Team Meteor. We discovered that there are 3 more pulse machines, one in Apophyll Beach, one in Wasteland, and another one in Peridot Ward. Ace also confirmed that despite the Doctor teaming up with Team Meteor, he instructed that our friends are not harmed. Now we can focus our efforts in taking down Team Meteor's plans with the pulse machines. The first one is in Peridot Ward, and Ace helps us enter the building through the top floor. Inside, we are ambushed by Team Meteor. Amaria takes on most of them and sends us up ahead. Ace shows up again, revealing that he double-crossed us. The information he helped us decrypt was tampered with, so we don't know the full story of what Team Meteor is planning. We only know the location of the pulse machines. Not only that, he also captured Kane, so now we need to rescue him too, but we don't know the exact location where. Ace then proceeds to push us down a trapdoor. Now we need to make our way through the factory and take down the pulse machine. At the end of the facility, we see that Team Meteor is polluting the water using a pulse muck. We also meet Zell and the man in the trench coat. He threatens to attack us with his Garchomp, but just before he can, Amaria shows up to save us. So now, while she battles him, we battle Zell and the pulse muck. We open up the fight with Wanda versus their Byxbysion. After a close combat from Wanda and an awkward jet from Dio, they go down. Wanda is then sent out to use close combat against Umbreon, but we hear ourselves in the confusion. Before we can finally get the kill, Zell switches Umbreon out for Espeon, so we switch in Dio to finish him off with Hyper Voice. Wanda can then take down Umbreon with close combat. Lastly is Lilo against Pulse Muck, who keeps the poison typing, but also has the ability Protein, not to mention its high special defense stat. After using Leech Seed, we send in Ness to use Nuzzle. With him paralyzed, we can send in Big and use Fake Tears to lower his special defense. Now Dio can come in and use Hyper Voice, and then Wanda can use Close Combat, chipping away his HP. Then finally, we can send in Sora to finish it off. With that, Zell is now defeated, and the pulse mark has been stopped. We then find out that the name of their man in the brown coat is called Solaris, and seemingly, he doesn't actually care that the pulse has been stopped, as the damage has been done. Before leaving, he orders his Tyranitar to attack Amaria directly. Despite the attack, after checking up on Amaria, she seems to be okay. She then suggests that we head to Apophyll Beach, as that's where the next pulse machine is. Not to mention, we'll also be able to get the HM for strength there. This is one of the things we need in order to help our friends who are trapped. After taking a boat, we arrive at the academy and speak to the sensei, Kiki. She also calls in Victoria so she can introduce us to them. However, we met them already. With no further introductions needed, we then explain the situation where the academy is in danger and also that our friends have been kidnapped. As Team Meteor does not have the pulse machine activated right now, we have some time, so I try to get the HM for strength. However, Kiki explains that this is only given to graduates of the academy, therefore she must give us a test. We have to either defeat Victoria or Cal in a Pokemon battle in order to qualify. As Victoria is basically a rival to us, we decided to have a battle with her. She begins to fight with Pangoro, while we send in Ness. We immediately switch out using Volt Switch, and bring in Lilo to take him down with Draining Kiss. Incineroar is up next, but goes down immediately for Dio's Hyper Voice. We send Lilo back out against her Gallade, and they go down after a few Draining Kiss. We then send Root out against a Alolan Raichu, and put him to sleep with Spore. We deal some damage with Giga Drain, but the very next turn, Raichu wakes up and takes us out. They also take down Wanda, Lilo, Sora, and Ness. But thanks to Sora using Yawn, Raichu did fall asleep, so now Dio can take him down, and also Mienfoo, winning us the fight. Now it's time for us to have another battle, because in order to receive strength, you have to defeat Kiki in the final exam. Before we head off for the fight, Victoria also mentions that Kiki has a terminal illness and does not have long left. Regardless, if a battle is what she wants, it's a battle that she will get. So now we fight Kiki, the former fighting type gym leader. We take down her first Pokemon, Machamp, with one Moonblast from Dio. To counter our fairy type Pokemon, Kiki sends in Toxicroak, so we paralyze him with Nest. Before going down, Nest does deal some damage, so Dio can finish him off with Moonblast. Kiki's third Pokemon is Lucario, so we send in Sora, who has Aura Sphere, and Lucario goes down after a few more. We send Root out against Medicham, but they are immediately taken out with Ice Punch, but at least they get off with Effect Spore. We try to take advantage of this and use Growth with Lilo in order to set up. However, Medicham still deals a lot of damage, so instead we then try to use Draining Kiss, but we are immediately frozen with Ice Punch. With Lilo taken out, we then send in Dio once more with Moonblast. We stay in against Gallade, but are punished for this with a critical Poison Jab. To avoid getting hit again, we use Air Slash with Sora, so we can get a flinch. Not to mention, the field effect allows us to lower both sides' accuracy, but that does go against us as well, as we miss our subsequent Air Slash. But the next turn, after sending in Wonder, Gallade also misses their Poison Jab, so we take him down with Play Rough. The final Pokemon, Hitmonlee, also goes down with Play Rough too, ending the battle. Afterwards, Kiki's illness flares up, causing her to pass out. Upon waking up, she is angry about everything. After all, despite all that she teaches, she cannot beat this illness that is slowly destroying her body. Kiki also reveals that she cannot give us HM for strength, because it's been stolen. This means that we've actually wasted our entire time here. After all, we could be looking for Kane, or perhaps trying to investigate where the Pulse Machine is. Outside the room, we catch up with Victoria, who stormed out. We also discover that some students have spotted a mysterious group dressed in black on Azurine Island. Now that we have a clue, we decide to head over there, while Victoria looks after Kiki. On the island, we are ambushed by Asta and Eclipse. Asta ends up letting it slip that Kane is on the island. After a bit more banter, we end up having a battle, but we make quick work of them thanks to the rain and the annoying Hyper Voice. The battle's over, we head further into the island to find Taka, and we then find out that not only is Kane here, the Pokemon they are planning to use the Pulse Machine on is also located here as well. The plan is to use a pulse-powered Camerupt on the volcano. Naturally, we are then challenged to a battle, but this was very easy. Dio made quick work of the entire team. With the battle over, Taka orders Team Meteor to take Camerupt to the academy. After freeing Kane, we find out that Team Meteor left behind a package for Sirius. It's a emerald brooch. In our journey we have now encountered 4 objects like this: the ruby ring, emerald brooch, sapphire bracelet, and the amethyst pendant. We don't have a chance to question this, as we need to stop Team Meteor. To show how serious the situation is, Victoria has her Incineroar manually move the Team Meteor runs who refuse to battle us. On the way to the top, we end up seeing an Absol, symbolizing that something terrible is about to happen. We then meet up with Cal and Kane, who seem to be facing off against Taka and Sirius. Now it's up to me and Victoria to take on the father and son duo, before the Pulse Camerupt can blow up the volcano. We'll be facing off against Solaris, the leader of Team Meteor, against only one of his Pokemon. To be honest, this fight is optional, but I do want to challenge myself to beat him. After all, technically, we should have some sort of advantage, but in reality we don't, which is why, after repeated losses, I came up with a strategy involving using Wonder's Intimidate to lower Garchomp's attack as much as possible. With enough luck, we're able to get Garchomp down to -4 attack before Wonder is taken out by a Stone Edge. We then have Lilo use Leech Seed in order to get some extra chip damage in. We then use Draining Kiss until Lilo is finally taken down. Rhyme is then sent out to use Charm, so Garchomp is now at -6 attack. Afterwards, Root can be sent out to use Spore and Moonblast, until Guard Chopper goes down. Now, we were able to defeat just one of Solaris' Pokemon. Clearly, if he was to go all out, it would be a one-sided beatdown. After all, it took all that effort just to take down one Pokemon. Kiki then shows up and orders her Medicham to destroy the Pulse Machine, but in a cruel twist, Cal is revealed to be part of Team Meteor and has his Magmortar catch Medicham. To add insult to injury, Solaris orders him to throw Medicham into the volcano. Then, for the grand finale, Solaris has his Garchomp put an end to Kiki. Even for Cal, this was a step too far. Solaris questions on why he's so upset about this. Cal reveals that Kiki helped him overcome his inferiority complex, so he orders Magmortar to destroy the Pulse. With this, Team Meteor's plan has failed, so Solaris and Taka take their leave. Cal apologizes for his behavior, and Victoria, in rage, chases him off, not even giving him a chance to explain himself. Back in the academy, Victoria blames herself for bringing Cal to the island. She then decides to redirect her anger towards the true culprits of everything, Team Meteor. With that, there is only one more Pulse Machine left, to our knowledge, in the Wasteland where Kane's family is. Victoria then lashes out at Kane when he hesitates about going there. After Kane leaves, Victoria decides that she'll have to stop her adventuring with us. She has to look after the academy that Kiki left behind. This means it falls to us to go deal with Team Meteor. To continue our adventure, we now need to head into the Wasteland in order to get our 5th gym badge. Kane is at the entrance in order to let us enter Byxbysion Wasteland. Since Kane was supposed to be the poison type gym leader, his replacement is most likely also a poison type trainer. But it seems like our path is being blocked by Ace from Team Meteor. They confirm once again that there is a Pulse Machine within the Wasteland. However, it is one that even Team Meteor was not aware of. They're willing to give us more information if we can beat them in a battle. From previous battles, we know that Ace likes using Zoroark in battle, so we immediately open up with close combat to take him down. Next, we switch Wanda out for Dio against Ace's Bronzong. Thanks to the Vein, we're able to take him down with one Hyper Voice, although we do also take some damage from the active field effect. With 2 Pokemon down, Ace sends in the real Delphox next. Dio is outsped and goes down to Psyshock, so he sends in Sora next. When we try to put Delphox to sleep with Yawn, Ace switches out his Pokemon when we switch out 2 to Lilo. We use Draining Kiss against Clefable while it sets up with Belly Drum. Lilo ends up going down to Meteor Mash, but we are able to take him down afterwards with Sora and some Air Slashes. We send Wanda back in against Miss Magius and almost take him down with Play Rough. Although we took some damage from Shadow Ball, we are able to get the KO with another attack. Ace's penultimate Pokemon is the Honchkrow, and we take him down with 2 Air Slashes from Sora. With this, Ace is down to their final Pokemon, Delphox. We do as much damage as we can with Sora, and then send in Root to finish him off. First, we put Delphox to sleep, and then we fire off 2 Moonblasts, and finally defeat Ace. With the battle over, Ace confirms that the Pulse Machine is a prototype, and it's completely optional for us. We can absolutely just ignore it. After all, Team Meteor has no use for it, and it's not causing any problems in the region like the other machines. With this information, Ace takes her leave, allowing us to traverse through the Wasteland and enter the gym. Inside, we're met with Kane's mother, who's now complaining that her house has been turned into the location for the new gym, and the brand new leader just so happens to be Kane's sister Aya. We head inside the arena to find out that Fern was a trainer battling Aya just before us. He tries to show off by saying that the gym was easy, but Aya informs us he only got the badge through a rematch. Another visitor then shows up, and it turns out to be Hardy, the Rock-type gym leader. He's come over because he wanted to introduce himself to the new gym leader. We also learn that Hardy and Fern know each other because their sisters happen to be friends. Aya takes her leave to heal her Pokemon, so Fawn decides to challenge us to a battle in the meantime. We open up the fight with Wanda, and use Ice Fang against Fawn's Rhydon. I use Close Combat next in order to deal some more damage, but we still fail to get the KO, but fortunately, Rhydon misses the Stone Edge, so we can hit back again with Ice Fang once more. We send in Dio against Crocodile, and immediately flinch when we get hit by Thunder Fang. With just 2 HP left, we're able to get the KO with Hyper Voice. Pokemon number 3 is Roserade, so we send in Sora for a super effective Air Slash, but we immediately put to sleep with Sleep Powder. After taking some heavy damage, we're eventually able to get the KO. We send in Rhyme against Cypher, hoping to get the KO with some rollouts, but the Technician boosted wing attacks were just too much for her. We then send in Lilo to set up with Growth, and finish Cypher off with Draining Kiss. Before going down, Lilo does deal some chip damage to Decidueye, allowing Wanda to get the KO. Fawn's final Pokemon Fracture gets taken out by Sora, thanks to some flinches from Air Slash. After the battle, Aya is now ready for the gym battle between us. Just like with Corey, Aya also uses Poison type Pokemon, and fights in a double battle format. Last time however, not all our Pokemon were fully evolved, and we still had some Pokemon who weren't Fairy types yet, giving us a slight advantage. Not to mention, we were also slightly over leveled before. Despite this, I still tried to use the same strategy as last time, where we changed the fuel effect to something more beneficial to us, but even with this advantage, we're barely able to put a dent in Aya's team. We eventually lose the battle, and after repeat attempts, I decided it's finally time to EV train our Pokemon. Now we're much more prepared for this rematch. We open up the fight the same way we did the first time, with Wanda and Rhyme. We take a double Sludge Wave, however we do take Nidoqueen down to half health with Ice Fang, and set up Misty Terrain, allowing our entire team to get a boost in special defense. Next up, in order to take down Nidoqueen, we heal Wanda and let Rhyme go down. Aya then sends in her Salazzle, so we send in Dio. Wanda immediately goes down to Sludge Wave, but Dio is also able to fire off a Hyper Voice, almost taking down Salazzle, and Toxapex ends up using Sludge Wave too, meaning Salazzle then goes down. We send in Ness, and Aya sends in Venusaur. The plan is to switch Dio's position by swapping in Sora and allowing Ness to bring in Dio again. We can take down the newly sent in Drapion with a terrain boosted Moonblast, and Venusaur with Air Slash. But Venusaur survives with 1 HP, and we're lucky enough to get a flinch. The next turn, Venusaur is finally taken down, and Dragalge is the final Pokemon left. With Aya outnumbered, we win the fight. With this, we now have enough gym badges to use strength outside of battle, meaning the moment we get the TM, we'll be able to save our friends. Before leaving, we do find out a bit more about Kane's relationship to his family. He apparently ran away from home shortly after earning the gym leader title. Aya then had to take up the role as no one else was available. As being cheered up by Hardy, we end up getting the TM for Sludge Wave in addition to our gym badge. And with that, we continue our adventure by leaving the Wasteland and running into Kane again. He explains that he couldn't face his family again after running away from being a gym leader, despite knowing that we do need to get the gym badge in order to save our friends from Team Meteor. In a roundabout way, he says that technically, since we beat his sister, if he beats us, then he should qualify for the badge. Kane opens up the fight with a low in Marowak and we send in Wanda, but we immediately switch out to send in Sora instead, and after 2 air slashes, Marowak goes down. We send Wanda back out to take care of a Alolan Muck, and after a couple close combats and Muck missing Gunk Shot, we are able to take him down too. We then send in Dio to take care of Kane's third Pokemon, Nidoking. And when Kane sends in his own Primarina, we send in Root, who puts him to sleep with Spore before using Giga Drain to take down Primarina. Dio then comes out to finish off Kane's final Pokemon, Meowstic. With Kane defeated, he apologizes for his outburst and focuses once again. He goes on ahead of us back to the Veilnet, looking for a way to advance forward. At the gate to the Wasteland, we run into Carl again. He begins to explain his side of the story at what happened with Apophyll Academy, how he did not go there on Team Meteor's orders. It was only when they found out where he was that he received orders to assemble the Pulse Machine. But he also mentioned that he purposely sabotaged the machine so it would fail and Apophyll would be kept safe. With his side of the story explained, he gives us the HM for strength and tells us to please rescue Shelly on his behalf, as after all, it's probably best for him not to show up at the moment. With the HM for strength, we're now able to clear the path and begin our rescue mission for our friends. We meet up with Kane, and together, we storm the building that Team Meteor is hiding in, and begin rescuing our friends, starting with Charlotte. With our help, we're then able to rescue Shelly as well. When it came time to rescue Noelle, we discovered just how deep Team Meteor's plans are. It turns out Team Meteor actually once brought the Reborn city to ruin by destroying the power plants, if it wasn't for Julia opening up a new one when she became a gym leader. After defeating the Knights, Noelle then tells us that Team Meteor has taken the Amethyst Pendant from Anna, so while we go up ahead to save Heather and Anna, Charlotte and Noelle will stay behind to get Noelle out of the cage. Up ahead, we then find Dr. Sigmund and Heather, and we find that Team Meteor has asked him to interrogate her for where their ruby ring is. On the plus side, it turns out that Dr. Sigmund did not have the opportunity to perform any of his treatment on Heather, so she is unharmed. He states that he has no intention of stopping us from rescuing everyone, and with us knowing that Charlotte is downstairs, she'll take care of Heather, so we go up ahead to rescue Anna. At the top floor, we find Sirius and Anna. We learn that the ruby ring and Amethyst pendant used to belong to Team Meteor even before Anna was born, but somehow the Amethyst pendant ended up in the hands of Anna's father, who passed the pendant to his children. Sirius has no intention of returning the pendant or Anna, so we do what we do best and battle him. In this battle, we lead with Dio, Kane sends in Nidoking, and Sirius sends in his Minior and Tyrantrum. Not only are our Pokemon a higher level, we also have the numbers advantage with 11 to 6. Even I thought this battle wouldn't be too difficult, until Sirius's Toucannon used Tailwind. With the Viper still out, we now have a Pokemon that can deal super effective damage to every single one of my team members. To make matters worse, as Toucannon goes down, so does Dio, and Sirius sends in a Chandelure. I try using Ness to use Nuzzle and paralyze Chandelure, but thanks to Tailwind, Ness is outsped and goes down without doing anything. I send Sora out next in order to use Yawn and hopefully survive, but we end up getting poisoned, so despite surviving, we still go down. I didn't know what Kane would send, but fortunately, it was his Meowstic. So now that I know that Seviper is going to be taken down by Meowstic, I can plan and hopefully take down whatever Sirius sends out next in one turn, while Chandelure is put to sleep. Last Pokemon is Manectric. I opt for a close combat to do as much damage as possible, but Kane uses Light Screen, which is helpful, but not what I wanted. The next turn we go for another close combat, and Meowstic is taken down with Snow. Fortunately, Chandelure is still asleep, so now it's a 2v1, and Kane redeems himself by having his Muk use Knockoff, taking down Chandelure and winning us the fight. Despite all this, Sirius is still not done. He takes Anna hostage. Kane quickly realizes that he can bargain for her safety, using the emerald brooch he stole from Team Meteor before. Kane hands it over and ensures Anna's safety. We then take the chance to make her escape with everyone, and it turns out that Team Meteor doesn't actually have the emerald brooch. After all, it seems that Kane actually had a fake all along. This means that for the 4 pieces of jewelry, the emerald brooch is the only one that we don't know the location of. Together with everyone, as we make our escape, we use one of the abandoned trains in the railway in order to break out and leave the city. Before we do get on the train, we do pick up a corrupted Pokeball, as this is a side quest to get another team member in the future. The train we're using suddenly stops abruptly, and when we step outside, it seems like the tracks are all missing. Heather also takes this opportunity to fly off on her Salamence. Kane goes after her just to make sure that she's okay. Meanwhile, the rest of us go over to Charlotte's house, as it's a good place for us to lay low from Team Meteor. With the new area, also comes with the opportunity to catch some new Pokemon. We encounter a shiny Reborn and capture it. With this new Pokemon, we then continue on to Charlotte's house. Inside, we reunite with Laura, Charlotte's older sister. We explain the situation to her, and she welcomes us with open arms. She takes Noelle and Anna upstairs in order to take a look at Anna's condition. When she returns, we find out that Anna has come down with an awful fever. We are then tasked to head into the neighbouring town and pick up a herbal extract from the Pokemart. On our way, we also find an Eevee, and we immediately evolve it into a Sylveon. We also take the chance to train him up as well, as we'll be adding them to the team immediately. We arrive at the town, and it seems like everything is disappearing and reappearing in random places, even the Pokemart. So now we need to find where the Pokemon is in order for us to actually buy the medicine for Anna. Fortunately, the Pokemon ended up on top of the gym. When we try to enter, we meet Bennett, the son of the gym leader Sarah, who both come outside to investigate what the loud noise was. Inside the house, Sarah explains that this disappearing act has been happening quite a lot. Sarah offers to battle us in the gym while we wait for the Pokemon to reappear somewhere else. We also learn about someone called Luna, another gym leader who happened to stay with Sarah and Bennett for a while before disappearing again. Someone else ends up coming to the house as well, a man called L. He is someone who worships Arceus and has come looking for his daughter, Luna, who we just talked about. Fortunately, he just missed her, so now he requests Sarah to let him stay for a bit while he looks for clues for where Luna is. She accepts and offers him a place to stay, and also invites him to watch the gym battle between herself and me. While making our way through the gym puzzle, we encounter Bennett and Elle. It turns out that Bennett challenges everyone who wants to battle his mother. This way, he's able to get practice in for when he eventually becomes a gym leader. Unfortunately, Fairy types resist bug type Pokemon, and Sora sweeps through the entire team, making this a very easy fight. After the battle, Elle tells Bennett that he's impressed, and that maybe going for a gym leader is too small of a goal, and says that Bennett should strive to maybe become a member of the Elite Four instead. The two of them take their leave and allow us to continue our gym puzzle, and eventually reach Sarah to challenge her for the gym battle. Bennett and Elle also show up to watch from the sidelines. Sarah opens up the fight with Glaceon, a recent Dio. We immediately use Moonblast, while Sarah sets up an Aurora Veil. Despite the increased defenses, 2 more Moonblasts are able to take down Glaceon. Next up is Ninetales, so we send in Ness as well, hoping to stall out Aurora Veil. Unfortunately, we're not able to heal enough with Parabolic Charge, so Ness eventually goes down, allowing us to send in Wanda next. And after a critical Fire Fang, Ninetales goes down, exactly as Aurora Veil ends. Sarah's third Pokemon is Sandslash. We try to use Root to put him to sleep with Spore, but we get taken out by a critical hit. Mavis then makes her debut, and uses Yawn, just as Sandslash uses Sword Stance. Mavis then immediately goes down to her Iron Head, but at least now Sandslash is put to sleep, allowing Wanda to come back in and use Fire Fang to take him down. Jinx then goes down to 2 Moonblasts from Dio, now making the battle a 2v3. But with 2 of our Pokemon injured, we send in Sora, hoping to outspeed Frostlass, and get lucky with Air Slash flinches, but it turns out we're not fast enough. However, our Quick Claw procs, allowing us to actually get the kill with one more air slash. Sarah's final Pokemon is Lapras, and we have Wanda use close combat to deal some chip damage before sending in Dio to finish him off. And now we have one more gym badge to our collection. With the new badge, our level cap increases, and we also get a TM for Aurora Veil. Not to mention, it seems like the Pokemon has moved again, so now we can go look for it. Outside, Elle and Bennett are having a conversation. It seems like Elle has realized that Bennett actually knows where Luna had gone to. So, using their condition of joining the Elite Four, Elle gets this information from Bennett. And we also discover that Luna has the emerald brooch that Team Meteor has been looking for. The two of them then take their leave, most likely in search of Luna. Back with Sarah, she asks us to look after Bennett if we meet up with him again, and hopes that Elle doesn't actually drag him into anything troublesome, as Bennett doesn't make always the best choices. And now, in order to continue our adventure, we need to go to the Pokemart in order to purchase the medicine for Anna. However, despite getting the medicine for Anna, she decides to hand it over to Nostra, her stuffed toy, instead. But somehow, that still works, and now Anna feels better. It's then decided that we'll challenge Noelle to a gym battle. Just as we're about to begin our gym battle, Saphira, Charlotte's older sister, shows up. After some quick introductions, we find out that the Doctor and Team Meteor are coming after us once more. Saphira's plan is simple. We will defend the house while she heads outside to take down as many Team Meteor members as possible. The first to show up is Dr. Sigmund. He's here together with some of his orderlies to take back everyone who escaped the orphanage. Naturally, we're here to stop him, so while he sends the orderlies upstairs, we battle him. He opens up the fight with Musharna while we send in Dio. After 2 hyper voices, Musharna goes down, but he does set up a psychic terrain. Alone and Raichu's up next, who sets up a nasty plot, and we fail to take him down with Moonblast. This causes Dio to go down the following turn. Ness is sent out afterwards to outspeed and take him down. Pokemon number 3 is Hypno, and we immediately paralyze him with Nuzzle, and then switch out with Volt Switch afterwards. Mavis comes out next and takes a dazzling clean to the face and finishes Hypno off with Moonblast. The Doctor's Rotom also falls before Mavis's Moonblast too. The Doctor then sends in his ace Electivire, so he's in en route, hoping to put him to sleep and take him out quickly. Turns out we were unlucky and only got 1 turn of sleep before Electivire woke up again. Wanting to keep Root up in case we need him for the next Pokemon, we switch out and bring in Wanda. And despite being paralyzed, we break through and still take down Electivire, leading the Doctor to bring in Drampa as his final Pokemon. So we send back in Mavis and take him down in one shot, ending the battle. Almost immediately, Sirius comes in, escaping Saphira's wrath, saying that she's taken down majority of their forces. Now we have a bit of a situation. With 2 of them here, and our Pokemon weakened, we can't afford to stop both of them at the same time. So we have to make a choice on who to stop. We choose the Doctor, as he has legal authority over some of the children, so we need to stop him the most from approaching anyone. Saphira then catches up and has a happy reunion with the Doctor, which mostly involves her scaring him. She recounts how her and her sisters were treated, before finally having him blasted with Hyper Beam. With a brand new hole in the wall, Sirius then takes the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. It seems like Laura was able to stop him from taking anyone, but now he's taking Saphira to the nearby base, so we'll have to go together to rescue her. The others stay behind as they are Team Meteor's targets, so it's only me and Laura who are launching this rescue mission, but it seems like our help isn't really needed, as it turns out Saphira already broke herself out of the facility. Even with this change, me and Laura still work together with Saphira in order to take down Team Meteor, even if Saphira would have preferred our family to stay away from danger. We reach the end of the facility and see Zell, Sigmund, and a Pulse Abra. There's some back and forth between the Doctor and Saphira, and we also discover that the Doctor actually talks to himself sometimes as well. Sirius then shows up with some urgent news. Turns out that Lynn, someone who has risen through the ranks thanks to our cruelty to both friends and foe, is arriving at the facility soon. It turns out that it was her idea to use a pulse sabra in order to perfect some teleportation technology. And also, the reason why we've had disappearing items in the town was thanks to it too. They then promptly send both myself, Laura, and Saphira away. It seems like we were sent on the ground, and when we catch up with Laura, she recounts how there was a child called Lynn in the orphanage as well, but she disappeared a long time ago. There is a possibility that maybe this Lynn is the same person. However, she's supposed to be around the same age as Anna, so she'd be way too young to be the same Lynn as the one in Team Meteor. While searching for Saphira, Laura is knocked down by something. Saphira then warns us that whatever it is heading our way, and it turns out it's a giant Steelix. Now Saphira looks for a way to reach us and help us out with the Steelix. We need to hold it off and protect Laura. Just like its size, its level is way higher, being a whopping level 75. Ness was unfortunately my Pokemon up front, so he immediately goes down to an earthquake. We send in Wanda and switch out with our Pokemon until we're able to lure its attack was intimidating enough. So then Dio comes in and fires off some Hyper Voice to take him down. With Steelix defeated, it then returns back to the depths. Saphira then takes the opportunity to rise back up alongside it. The three of us then ride Steelix back to the entrance of Team Meteor's base. Saphira then takes Laura back home in order to help her recover, and then sends us to take down Team Meteor and stop that Pulse Sabra. When we meet Zell again, they're still struggling to get Abra to listen to them. And at this point, it seems really unlikely that they'll be able to finish this project. And Lynn will definitely not be happy. Therefore, they decide to have us deal with him. Thankfully, this isn't a full-on fight, it's literally just our team against Abra, who is level 75, but we are able to immediately paralyze him after dodging a Hyper Beam. Once that's done, it's just a matter of time for our team to slowly chip away at his HP and finish the fight. With Abra defeated, hopefully items will slowly stop disappearing and reappearing everywhere in the region. Sirius then shows up and gets our story straight. When Lynn shows up, Sirius explains that we broke into the facility and took down Abra before anyone could stop us. Sigmund also takes the opportunity to introduce himself, and Sirius also explains how they managed to retrieve both the Ruby and Amethyst artifacts. Sirius also explains that Solaris has their Sapphire Key too. He doesn't explain what happened with the Emerald Brooch, but Lynn seems to already know. This makes Sirius realize that Lynn was the one who set up the fake Emerald Brooch, and it turns out that it was actually an explosive. This means that for some reason, Lynn set up Sirius to fail from the start. Before we can think about what this means, it turns out that Saphira is actually attacking the base again, along with Steelix. This causes Lynn to confront her with her shiny Hydreigon. Before a fight can even break out, Lynn has Hydreigon defeat Steelix immediately, showing just how powerful Lynn is as a trainer. We then take this chance to leave immediately, as Lynn most likely will not let us leave unscathed. We reunite with everyone back at the house, and although we're concerned about Saphira, we assume she's probably fine as she still has Dragonite with her. We also take the time to finally talk about everything that's happened, about Lynn, and about all the keys that Team Meteor was collecting, about how the city was built on top of a meteor that fell and is locked behind a temple, and the keys are the Ruby, Amethyst, Sapphire and Emerald. Charlotte does mention that they should have the Sapphire bracelets, but we find out that they went missing when their house was set on fire. We know that Amaria somehow ended up having it shortly before Team Meteor took them from her. Charlotte ends up leaving when talks about the house fire is brought up. So now, we take the time to actually challenge Noel for his gym badge. This time, we're not going to be interrupted by a sudden invasion, so now we face the normal type leader, Noel. He opens his fight with Cinccino, so we send in Wanda to get the Intimidate off, and hit him with a close combat, while we do go down to half our HP from a Bullet Seed, while taking down Cinccino. With our defenses down, we switch in Ness against Porygon Z, and use Nuzzle to immediately paralyze them. Afterwards, we do as much damage as we can with Parabolic Charge, before we switch out with Volt Switch. Wanda comes out again, and immediately gets frozen from Tri-Attack. After being frozen for multiple turns, Wanda ends up going down to another Tri-Attack. Now we send in Sora, and I misclick and press yawn by accident. This causes us to take extra damage when we finally defeat Porygon after 2 Aura Spheres. Swallow is up next, and half our team is already either KO'd or almost defeated. We send in Ness, hoping to deal enough damage with her parabolic charge, but we're outsped and get taken out. Although Swallow had a Flame Orb is now boosted by Guts, we're still able to survive a hit with Mavis and deal some damage with Moonblast. Mavis does go down the next turn, but we've dealt enough damage that Sora can come in and use Extreme Speed to get the KO. Girafarig is up next, so we send in Roots hoping to put him to sleep, but it turns out Girafarig has Sap Zipper, so we only boost his attack. Knowing we're going to get taken down, we use Moonblast to deal as much damage as possible. Then, wanting to keep Roots alive for Effect Spore, we switch in Sora so he can take the hit, allowing us to bring in Dio safely. With Dio out now, we get lucky and dodge the Thunder Wave, allowing us to fire off our rain boosted Hyper Voice. Noel's ace Clefable's out next, and I'm able to 2-shot it with Hyper Voice as well, and avoid getting its special attack down with Moonblast. He is also able to survive and take down Berea, his final Pokemon, winning us the fight. With this, we now have our 7th gym badge, and our level cap also increases to level 60. Laura also returns after checking in on Charlotte. I also got to hear about what happened in the fire a long time ago. It turns out that Charlotte's Vulpix may have accidentally caused a fire that resulted in them losing their parents, so it was only the 3 sisters before they were taken to the orphanage with the doctor. With that piece of lore, it's finally time to end the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time as we continue the story.